What's up, you guys? Welcome back to another episode of Let's Talk Boxing. I'm your girl, Leti.
I'm LB.
And let's get into this press conference that we just saw with Brian Castano and Jermell Charlo.
Hey, we've been waiting for this fight. I know we say this, it seems like we say this on every fight, but we've really been waiting for this one.
And I've said it before, like in every other channel, is there's two fights that I wanted to watch absolutely, I couldn't wait for this year, which was the Shakur and Valdez and Charlo and Castano.
Yeah.
So this, I'm getting my second fight and I can't wait to watch it. What do you think about the press conference though? Entertaining as always?
As always, I even tweeted this on Twitter. I was like, has Jermell Charlo ever been in a boring press conference?
Never.
Absolutely not. So this did not disappoint. We do have Jerron Ennis on the undercard, so I'm excited to see him back. Hats off to Showtime, Espinoza. They've been giving us amazing fights, competitive fights. They just gave us Ugas.
Yeah.
So I'm excited for this fight. The press conference made me even more excited for this fight. But yeah, what do you
Why?
think?
What about the press conference?
Man, it's just everything because it's been a lot of shit talking and a lot of rumors. Jermell Charlo saying that Castano wasn't really hurt, and he made up the, he said that he was he was taking steroids or something. So there's been a lot of back and forth. So that already made for an exciting fight.
Wait.
And then when you give Jermell Charlo a mic, how can you not get excited?
Clarify that back and forth. Because you said talking shit, guys. I feel like the talking shit has kind of been coming from one side only.
What you mean talking? Talking shit has been the same. It's been the same.
I feel like I said, we had touched on the subject a little bit more. I feel like, and now we were talking about it, I feel like there's bad blood in between that fight, and I feel it more on Castano's side because I feel like Charlo's been doing all the shit talking.
Yeah.
This whole time.
Yeah, he has, but I mean that's Charlo though. That's what he does. He does talk his mess, and you know what? And I'm glad he did talk his mess because it got Castano out of his shell. You know what I mean? We get to see more of his personality and who he really is, and that's what I like about it. But definitely, I do agree with you when you said you feel like that Castano was actually taken back by what he's been saying.
Yeah, and I mean, I love it as a boxing fan. I want to see all the shit talking. Like I said, it makes for more of a fight, and it makes you want to watch the fight more. It kind of builds a story, behind the fight. And of course, Charlo talks his shit, and he's like so confident in what he says
and passionate.
Passionate. That's the word I was looking for. That boy is passionate about what he talks about, and he just.
Whether right or wrong, where he straddles the line, straddles the fence, hey, he gonna be himself, and his personality gonna come through no matter what.
Yeah, and I mean passionate because even like when they ask Castano preguntas, like when they ask him questions, you could just see Charlo is just like, what is he gonna say? Like he's looking at him like when he's answering the questions, we had saw that, and I think they had some kind of conference.
Yeah, the kickoff press conference.
Yeah, and then he was like, you could tell he was looking at the camera, looking at him like, what did he say? And like in the press conference, also he was just like looking at him when he was answering them questions, Yeah. So. And
one of the funny parts during the press conference is, for me, anyways. When I watch press conference, I look at everything. So I was looking at Derek James and just his face, like, and his expressions, like he's looking at Charlo, like, all right, like from the beginning, like, come on, let's not say nothing crazy. And then the whole time he's just looking at him, he's looking. Jerron Ennis is over there just dying laughing. You know what I mean? He's just entertaining.
Yeah.
You see Derek James and Steven Espinoza. You hear what he just said? When he gave his last words, before the fight. So. Yeah, it's just entertaining to watch him.
Yeah, and we know who Charlo's representing. Yeah. Who is he representing?
USA.
So, what were your thoughts against Charlo putting USA versus Argentina?
All right, so when it comes to the sport of boxing, I understand why he did it. Just because, like, if you ever go to a boxing match, and there's an American fighter in there fighting against anybody else. Especially
anybody else, like who?
I'm just saying someone from another country or whatnot.
Okay, from a different country.
From a different country, you have the people and the fans chanting out that country, but there's no one in the crowd chanting USA. And for example, you know, if there's a Mexican fighter, you hear Mexico. That's all you hear. You know, we just went to we went to you know, Valdez Shakur, and that's all we hear. So I understand why he's trying to do that, because he's trying to get that. He's trying to get that fan base to be, you know, to be similar to other countries. But you know, it's kind of hard for boxing, because here in America we have so many other sports that we support. You know, boxing isn't considered as mainstream as it is to other countries, so it's kind of hard. But I understand why he's doing it, because he wants to get that support, and he can see, you know, the Mexican fighters, what they feel in other countries, what they feel when their fans are cheering on, you know, that country pride. So I get it, and you know why he's trying to do that. So you know, it makes sense. I think other fighters should do that, because I think that should be a part of the culture. You know, it's a part of the culture for other countries to do that. I think USA needs to do a better job of doing that too.
Yeah, they do. And I wonder if, like I said, like they don't introduce their boxers as USA boxers because they're fighting in the United States. I wonder if they, in different like countries, I wonder if they talk about, like, you know, USA, you know, superstar boxer Charlo, or I wonder if they do that in different countries, you know? Yeah. I don't know if that's the reason why we always just want to shout out the other person's country when it's, you know, the other fighter's fighting. But I agree with you. I think that, you know, he should start calling it out like that to hopefully bring more, you know, USA fans
people do that
and have their back.
Definitely.
So I think it's good that they do that. But also, I think Castano, you know, how if you guys saw the press conference, it started getting really like loud and heated when, you know, Charlo started chanting the USA, and then the Argentino fans were shouting out Argentina. And, you know, I think Castano tried to simmer it down a little bit, saying, you know, guys, I'm very, you know, thankful to the United States for, you know, allowing us to box here, and, you know, trying to make it seem like it's not Argentina against the United States. It's just the sport of boxing bringing us together.
Hey, and it was funny because Charlo was right there to put it right back.
Yeah, he was like,
he was right there to put it right back.
It's USA against Argentina.
Hey, and that's why he's so entertaining, just for stuff like that.
He wants all the smoke.
Yeah,
he said, I don't give a fuck. You can have your fans be chanting now, but it is Argentina versus USA. So, you know. So what do you think about, how do you think the environment's going to be in LA, or what kind of...
I mean, anybody who knows, you know, how StubHub is, we know that it's a Latino-dominated crowd. It's always a Latino-dominated crowd. So you're gonna expect a lot of boos. And the thing that I like about this, you know, Jermell Charlo is built for this. You know what I mean? Like, and it kind of goes with the press conference too. A lot of people are like, oh, Charlo looks worked up. Oh, Charlo looks, you know, he's worrying about that. He's out of character. He's in emotion. And I'm like, look, dude, this is right on character. You know what I mean? We seen him in there with Harrison. They were saying the same thing during the press conference. Oh, he's getting too emotional. Like, the one thing about him, like, that makes him a better fighter. You know what I mean? Like, that's what makes him a better fighter. So I was looking at it like, oh, this is gonna be a good fight, because I know what Jermell bringing. And so with that being said, with the environment it is the way it is, I think that we're gonna get the best version of Jermell Charlo, because when he gets like this, you know, when he gets all worked up and stuff, we get the best version of him. You know, we saw that in Jermell Charlo. I mean, we saw that with Tony Harrison, and I expect to do the same. Has he been booed like that before, though, in a big fight? No, but just his personality. I feel like certain fighters, you know, when the lights are the brightest, you're not sure what you're gonna get. But with Jermell Charlo and his personality and how he is and the confidence he has, I think this is perfect. But do you think he can be overconfident to the fact that he's going to try to, like, if he hears all the booing, he's going to want to try to show out and go for the knockout, and it could be a mistake? I mean, I'm going to look at it like, yeah, I mean, it could be like that, but I'm going to look at it like this. The boos, I mean, you look at him on the daily, he gets criticism daily. So, I mean, it's just going to be like another night at the office. But again, he feeds into that criticism. Yeah. So if he's on stage and he's getting booed and all that, he might be like, oh, you gonna boo me? Okay, this is what I'm gonna do. And like I was saying, that type of stuff, to me, in my opinion, creates the best Jermell Charlo. When he gets worked up like that, because he gets so focused and he wants to prove people so wrong. And I think that's how he trained for this fight. Man, he looks good. But I think his type of personality, he needs that extra motivation, and I think that's what they're gonna give him. And it's kind of like, I remember when I was playing basketball, whenever the crowd was against me, it was the best version of me. I loved being an underdog. I love people telling me crazy stuff. You know what I mean? And so I think he kind of has that same thing about him. So I'm very intrigued for the fight for that reason. All right, so yeah, let's get into the fight. How do you think this fight is going to play out? So Jermell Charlo and Brian Castano both stated in the press conference that they're both going for the knockout.
Well, they said he wasn't, Castano, what's his name? Charlo said he's going for the knockout. I think Castano said, I'm not going to leave it up to the judges, which, I mean, you can take as I'm going to knock him out or I'm going to clearly win round by round. And I hope it's one or the other. I hope one of them do get knocked out or it does leave it completely clear as to, like, who won, you know, most of the rounds. I don't want to see another draw between them.
No. Definitely, man.
Although,
can't be.
My prediction, I still don't know. I still think it's a 50-50 fight. One day I'm leaning more towards Charlo. The other day I'm leaning more towards Castano. And at this point,
you're fans of both, so that's why it's interesting to see.
It's like I was saying, one day I'm like, damn, you know, like some Charlo say kind of, you know, hits me the wrong way, and then some, you know, Castano says is like, ooh, you know, but then they say some other shit. I'm like, damn, I like them, you know. I like them both just as much. But even just besides liking them, I feel like they both are coming in to fight. And I think this is a really 50-50 fight. What's your take on that?
So this is what I think. So if they're both coming from the knockout, if they're both going for the knockout, I would have to say that favors Charlo just because, you know, he's he's the puncher. You know, he's got more knockouts. Brian Castano, I think he has 12 knockouts he doesn't have that many fights, so it's still a good knockout percentage. I look at his last fight against Patrick Teixeira, and Patrick Teixeira, you know, he's a good fighter, but, you know, he was able to go 12 rounds with him. And, you know, I see Jermell Charlo being a lot tougher than Patrick Teixeira. So I would say that it favors Charlo if they're both going for the knockout. Also, when it comes to Castano knocking out Charlo, I look at the banana fight. We love banana. We love banana. But we look at the Rosario fight, and Rosario, if you ask anybody in the division, everybody says in the division, like, banana is cracking. You know what I mean? And so, you know, he's felt, you know, the power, you know, before, and, you know, he was able to handle it. He did get him out of there, but that's just kind of how I look at it when it comes, why I think that it would favor Jermell Charlo if it's, you know, if they're both going for the knockout.
Yeah, that's true. That's valid.
How I see the fight, man, I'm so excited for this fight. So I rewatched the fight again. You know, I have to rewatch the fight. So I rewatched the fight again, and it fight looked even more closer than I felt before. So it made me even more excited for the fight. All right, so the way that I see this fight, I see, you know, Jermell Charlo said he's going to be coming forward. A lot of the things that I saw in the first fight, I was like, why, you know, I wanted him to throw his hands more. It looked like he was just sitting back and counter. And it looked like he was really having a hard time figuring out Castano. Because a lot of people, you know, even though Castano was pressuring, you know, the thing I like about Castano that a lot of people don't really talk about is the way he pressures. It's smart, educated pressure. You know what I mean? He's not just going in there blindly. And I think, you know, Charlo was looking forward to his pressure, but he didn't expect it to be regular pressure. You know, he was, you know, with the hands down. He came in and it was methodical. You know, he wasn't just rushing in there. You know what I mean? It was educated, and it was hard for him to figure it out. So this one, I think that, you know, being that he was able to, you know, have success towards the last 3 rounds of the fight, I think he kind of has a better idea of the style of Brian Castano, which is why I'm favoring Jermell Charlo in this fight. A lot of the so the first fight I was like, oh man, you know, he had a lot of success with the 1-2, and he had a lot of success with the hook. His left hook is nasty. His left hook is cold. Hey, his left hook is cold.
Even just watching him train, I was like, I can feel that. Man. Like, that was power right there.
His left hook is explosive, and his 1-2 is explosive. And so I think those are still going to be successful punches for him. But this is the one punch that I think he's going to actually find and land this fight. Because I saw it, I thought there was an opening. I'm not Jermell Charlo, and, you know, I'm not an expert or anything. But I think that this fight he's going to land the uppercut. I thought the uppercut was open, so I am looking forward, and hopefully that he lands the uppercut. So leading up into this fight, if you watched our previous video, I said that Jermell Charlo was going to get the knockout. So, up until the press conference, you know what, I felt like, you know, maybe I'm just reacting on emotions. You know what I mean? Because...
like Jermell does?
Hey, maybe I'm just reacting on emotions because he's one of my favorite fighters. You know he's one of my favorite fighters. So I'm like, man, am I being biased? So I was like, all right, you know, because I think Brian Castano is tough too. So, this whole time, so you know, up until today, I was on the KO, but you know, when I woke up this morning, I was like, you know what? I think it's I can see it going to decision, right? That's how I felt this morning. Now,
the press conference.
It was after I heard. It wasn't even the press conference. It was after I heard the interview of his wife. Was when I said, you know what? I'm going for the knockout. I don't know what it is. It's just that for some reason I believe her. Maybe it's because I can imagine you kind of giving a similar prediction, and it's like, and I was just thinking like, if you were just, if that was coming for you, you was telling the truth. You know what I mean? And it was like, she was very descriptive. She talked about him in his sparring partners and stuff. I mean, what do you think?
Because you think that she said that she was right about the other 2 knockouts that he had.
I mean, that kind of went into it, but it was just like, there's certain interviews when you can hear people saying like, oh, like when they give an interview, it just feel like you're like, oh no, you're just saying that. Like, she
was confident.
It was confident, and you could kind of read through certain people. Certain people you'd be like, oh, they know it's not gonna go like that.
Yeah, I mean, listen to the wives; they know what they're talking about. That's all I'm gonna say.
Yeah, that's right.
But I liked hearing her interview. You know, you usually don't get to hear much about the wives of the boxers. And sometimes they're the backbone.
Yeah.
And she was talking about, and I seen a video of Castano's wife also asking, the fight. She wasn't as descriptive as Mel's wife. So I mean, I could see why you're saying that, because she seemed very confident and very calm about when she was saying what she thought. I'm still 50-50, guys.
Yeah. You know what? And another thing I was gonna say to kind of add to the fight. Jermell Charlo, in an interview, they asked him like, "Oh, you're gonna be more of a boxer puncher?" And he said, 1,000%. So because there was a lot of times where he was just kind of sitting up back on the ropes. I don't expect him to be on the ropes this one. I think he's gonna use the ring a little bit more, but he's gonna let his hands go. But he's not gonna sit on the ropes.
Yeah, that fight was one of the most frustrating fights to watch that I've ever watched, because I was expecting so much from Charlo from that fight.
He let his hands go.
And we were like, what is wrong? Is he injured or what? He did not let go of those hands. So I'm curious to see how he's gonna do. Let go of them hands a little bit more. I'm curious to see what he's gonna do different, because his wife, he's talking about real confident. That knockout, he ain't even got to try. It's just gonna come.
And the crazy part is when you got power like that, that's just how it comes. You just go ahead and do your thing, and the knockouts just come. And but her interview just gave me extra confidence. So, but I may be biased because I told you Charlo's my guy. But also, and we know how competitive he is, and his stablemate in Aerosmith, he was there. He just saw what the big fish did to Ugas, so he gonna try to go out there and put on a show. He gonna try to outdo him.
And also, they have the same trainer.
Yeah.
So it's like when Spence was talking about, he's gonna knock him out. Same thing, confident. He was saying that. And now Jermell is talking very confident that he's coming for the knockout. So it's like, shit, he might really come for that knockout. But again, 50-50 for me, guys. I think Castano's a tough-ass fighter. He can be awkward, hard to figure him out in the ring. And I'm just, ready to see the fight. I'm ready for it to be Saturday already, so I can watch this fight and just get these butterflies down my stomach and know who the undisputed 154-pound is going to be.
All right, so it's
either going to be USA or Argentina.
So you have to choose, though. So what's your final, when, and how?
I'm going with Jermell Charlo.
How?
I feel like, I think it might not be a knockout. I think it's going to go 12 rounds. We might get some knockdowns, but I think it might go up to decision. And this time, let's hope that it will be a clear decision as to who won the fight. And I just feel like it might not be a knockout. The only reason why I'm saying that is because they're both expecting similar, fights. So in their back of their head, they're like, oh, this guy is coming to take my head off. So I got to be smart with my moves, good ring IQ throughout the whole fight, and great defense. So I feel like it's going to go to decision. And what's your final prediction?
I got Charlo. Lions only over here. It's Lions only over here.
What round?
But it's Team Lions only over here. I'm going with Charlo by knockout.
What round?
I'm not calling around, but I know it's coming, and I'll say before 10. Is that fair?
That's pretty much.
That's what I got.
Okay. Well, we gotta see. Let us know what you guys think. You guys think it's gonna be a knockout, or it's gonna go to the judge's decision?
Let's see.
LA fans, come out. We excited to watch this fight. I want it to be today already.
LA fans, Argentinian fans,
USA fans,
USA,
and Cali fans.
And California fans.
So again, let us know what you guys think down below. Don't forget to comment, like, and subscribe to continue to hear our videos. And catch us on our next episode of Let's Talk Boxing.
And we out.